It is Earth Day, and we wanted to talk sustainable eating and how what you eat can really help the planet. So Joy is here to share simple ways to make a difference. And Joy, you've got some great small changes that we can make that'll have a big impact, right?
Yeah, Tracy, and that's, it seems like the whole theme of the show is really small changes. It's all about baby steps. You don't have to do everything that I'm suggesting, but I think, one or two can have such a great impact. And if you multiply that by the millions of people that live in Canada and watch this show, that's huge.
It is. Okay, let's start with greenhouse or buying seasonal.
Buying greenhouse foods is fantastic because you are lowering the carbon footprint. And what I mean by that is if we look at strawberries as a perfect example, it used to be that if you wanted fresh strawberries in the middle of winter or even now, you were buying California strawberries or strawberries from New Zealand. So now you can get local Ontario greenhouse grown strawberries. Tomatoes have for many, many years been grown in greenhouses, cucumbers as well. So they take maybe so much less time to get to the grocery store, maybe only 50 kilometers instead of, potentially thousands of miles. So that's less carbon going out into the atmosphere. And the other thing to consider as well with greenhouse grown is less sprays, less herbicides and pesticides.
When I think organic, I think expensive, but you say it doesn't have to be that way. Yeah,
exactly. It really doesn't have to be that way. Tracy, I used to totally think that way too. But the key thing with organic, there's a couple things like shopping in bulk, as opposed to buying a bag of organic rice, going to the bulk section instead. But also, getting back to my first point, if you're buying organic, look for foods that are in season. And they will sometimes even be cheaper than the conventional counterparts. But then also you want to remind yourself, why are you buying organic? It's so much better for the planet because, synthetic pesticides and herbicides are completely banned when it comes to organic farming. And organic agriculture really, really pays close attention to nourishing the soil. And even though this doesn't sound very sexy, like nourishing the soil, and what does soil even matter? But the soil, the health of the soil and the microbiome of the soil is everything. If we don't have healthy soil, we don't have healthy food. We don't have nutrient-dense food. And just one more thing I want to mention from a budget perspective is that there are foods that are, not sprayed as much. You've probably heard of the Dirty Dozen or the Clean 15. You can kind of follow that list of foods, avoid the ones that are highly sprayed and the ones that have low spray, those are a better option. And then start at the top of the food chain. Things like dairy, so yogurt and cheese, they're going to accumulate the most of the pesticides. So if you're trying to decide, should I go organic with all my fruits and vegetables or my dairy, trying to decide where your budget should go, then I would actually start with things at the top of the food chain like your dairy and your animal foods.
Okay, one of the trends we've seen this past year is more people growing their own food. Let's talk a bit about that.
Yes. Yeah, totally. So, I've recently moved, but we used to be in a condo and we had a very small balcony and we grew so much. We grew everything from peppers to herbs. So the great thing about growing your own food is you are totally in control of what you put on your food to grow it. When you grow your own food, it's cheaper and it's better for the environment. And you know what? It tastes so much better when you can just chop off some mint or some basil for a salad. So delicious.
Now, another point you make is about the produce packaging itself. We got to figure out a way to do less of that, right?
Yes. Think to yourself when you're grocery shopping, do you really need a plastic bag to put your apples in or to put your lemons in? You don't. Just put them straight into your grocery cart and then put them straight into your crisper when you get home. You don't even need plastic around it. So also when you grocery shop, really try and avoid food that's packaged in plastic and know that packaging can be up to 20% of the cost of what you're buying. So if you really, avoid plastic, you can buy, it can be, better for your grocery bill. Look at spinach, for example. You can get a bunch of spinach or you can get box spinach. And I know box spinach can be convenient because it's pre-washed. Since we're just planning ahead, knowing, okay, I'm going to buy this spinach. It has dirt all over it, but that's okay. I'm going to wash it.
Joy, thank you so much.